Hello, this is the fourth tutorial in the series, and today we're going to study how to create windows to place in our previous scene we created in the first three tutorials. So let's get started. I downloaded a reference photo from the internet. You can download every photo you want to create any window you want. I'm going to use the one I downloaded. To use the reference photo, I'm going to create a plane and flip it. Now I'm going to assign a material with the photo I downloaded as a diffuse. I'm going to Maps, Bitmap, and I'm going to choose the photo I selected from the internet. I just made a Google search for Windows, so it's not that difficult to find reference photos for Windows. I'm going to assign this material to this plane, and I'm going to show shaded material in viewport. Now we have a reference photo of our window. Now the reference photo is not aligned correctly. It's not the height and width are not proportionate. To do this, I need to add the UVW Map modifier and choose the bitmap fit. So now I'm going to fit the frame of the UVW map to the bitmap of the original photo. This is aligned correctly now. I'm going to make the plane a little bit smaller, like so, and a little bit shorter, like so. Alright, now I'm going to place it above the zero plane and take it backwards a little bit. And let's start building this in the front viewport. The first thing I'm going to build is this frame. As I can see in the photo, the frame is made of one box and another box and another box at the top and another box at the bottom. So let's create this. I'm going to create one box here. The height of the box is not important right now. I'm going to change it in the later stages. I'm going to give it a 5 height. I'm going to change the realistic to shaded because the shaders don't help me at this point. And now I'm going to copy the box I've created at the left to the right. Shift, drag to the right. Alright, and another box at the top. I'm going to shift, rotate it 90 degrees and place it at the top, like so, almost touching. And now I'm going to convert it to editable poly and drag these vertices here, almost touching. Right. We have our basic frame of the window. I'm going to add another box at the bottom. Shift drag to copy the box of the top of the window, and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller to fit the size of this one. I'm going to take this one so it almost fits exactly. Alright. Now we have the 4 boxes to create the frame of the window. What I want to do now is I want to create the lines that assist the sliding of the window. These windows are slidable windows. They slide from left to right. So they need to sit on some kind of a little line that makes it impossible to go left and right, only forward and backwards. To create these two lines, because there are 2 windows here, I'm going to choose this edge. I'm going to ring it. What ring does is selects every edge that is 90 degrees to the edge I selected. So before ringing it's like this, and ring, it rings 1, 2, 3, 4. Just helps you select the edges you want. Now I'm going to connect the edges twice. So I have 2 new edges that go through the center. I'm going to chamfer them in order to create thickness to the lines. So one line becomes 2, something like so is fine. I'm going to extrude this one and this one up just a little bit, 0.5 maybe, like so. So now we have the tracks for the windows to slide on. Very good. Now let's create one window, one of the two, and then we will copy them to the other. We don't need to build both windows, just one, and copy it. So let's start. I'm going to build a box here and goes till here, sits on the track like so. Again, the thickness is not important for now. I'm going to change it in a later stage. Now I cannot see the reference photo. In order to see the reference photo, I need to make this box invisible. To do so, I'm going to right click, object properties, and see-through. I'm going to check the see-through box. Now I can see through this box. Alright, next stage. I'm going to convert it to editable poly, choose these polygons at the center and inset them. The amount needs to fit the window, so I'm going to inset something like this, and again, no, just once, sorry, and again something like this. So it fits this line in the reference photo, this one, and this line where the glass starts. This is fine. I'm going to delete these two polygons and I'm going to make it visible again. Object properties, see-through, uncheck it, and it's visible. To bridge these two gaps, because it's hollow now, because I deleted them, the form is hollow, I need to choose this border and this border with a control and click bridge. This will create polygons that bridge the two sides. This is fine. Now, if I render this as is, I will not see this line, this edge, and this is because this edge has no thickness and no axis at all. To create thickness to this edge, like so, like a cut in the window, I need to choose it like this. I'm going to loop the choice, which will loop the edge we chose. Now I'm going to click extrude. What this does is extrudes the line upwards or backwards and creates like two lines that are thicker or thinner. So I'm going to make it 0.2 and this minus 0.1, something like this, maybe even less, minus 0 minus again, sorry, something went wrong here. Just going to okay, I'm going to select them again, loop, extrude, minus 0.05 and 0.01 maybe, no, 3, something like this. So it's very subtle, but we have the cut inside the window. Alright, this will help enhance the details. Now maybe a little bit more of an enhancement. Extrude 0.05 and 0.1, like so. Alright, we have a cut in the window, like in the reference photo. Now what I'm going to do is create the glass for this window. I'm going to go to the front viewport and create a box for the glass. It doesn't have to fit 100%, it just needs to be inside the window. Alright, this is the glass for our window. I'm going to take it backwards. In order to scale the gizmo, I can use the plus and minus signs. The minus makes it smaller, the plus makes it bigger. Just FYI. Alright, so our window modeling is almost finished. Let's add this handle to our model. And I'm going to convert this to editable poly and attach all the sides of the frame into one editable poly. Now I'm going to choose all three objects I created and I'm going to give them a random material just that it will be easier to see, and I'm going to give them black lines. Now we have the basic model of the window. Let's create the handle. I need to see through this again, so I'm going to click it and object properties, see through, and this is our handle. I'm going to create a box again because this is very rectangular, all the window form, like so, a little bit thicker. Alright, take it upwards a little bit, doesn't matter for now. Maybe to the right. I'm going to build it so it looks like this, and then I'm going to move it back. So let's just hide everything except this one and this one. I'm going to choose the box I'm going to create this handle with, and I'm going to choose the reference photo, and I'm going to isolate them. Now I want to create this handle itself, so I'm going to add vertices here and here, convert this to editable poly, take it up a notch like so, take this one down, maybe not, maybe so, and I'm going to create lines that go to this direction. I'm going to connect it twice and take them outwards with this value, something like this. Alright, now I'm going to take this polygon and I'm basically going to extrude them inwards and bevel them inwards also. So I'm going to choose the bevel option. I'm going to make it a negative value, minus 0.5, something like that, and this one is too big, so something like this. Maybe in the front viewport we can see it better, something like so. Alright, so we have the handle. We need to add two bolts and this red thing here. Now, to add this red thing here, it's not very difficult. I'm going to choose these edges and I'm going to connect them one time. Take it up to here. Fine, and I'm going to extrude or bevel this outwards. I'm going to bevel it, not inwards, outwards, 0.4, and something like this, but 0.4 is way too much. I'm going to make it very subtle, like so. Alright, so we created this thing, and the two bolts will be just two circles or spheres we're going to create. Alright, so let's create a sphere and place it here. Now I'm going to need only half a sphere because it's a bolt, so I'm going to take it upwards and choose the hemisphere 0.5, so it cuts exactly in the middle. I'm going to place it inside and make it smaller, like squished, like so. This is a very small detail. We don't need that much segments, 16 is enough. And now I'm going to copy it downwards here. Doesn't have to be 100% like this. I'm just adding details for the realistic effect. Now, to make all this not so 90 degrees everywhere, I'm going to choose all the edges of the form and I'm going to chamfer it not too much, 0.1 maybe, 0.05, something like this, and 3 times. So now if I do this, I can see my form is not very straight 90 degrees. It's smoothed out a little bit, but this is not my desired effect. I'm going to go back, and the first thing I'm going to do is choose these edges, 1, 2, 3, 4, because these are rounded and I need to round these two. I'm going to chamfer them in order to round them, something like so. Front viewport, yeah, that's fine. And now I want to choose this edge and loop it. Basically choose all the edges on this line. Loop it again. Now what, I'm going to go to the top viewport and just select these edges and deselect this ones and this ones. So now theoretically it selects all the edges on this plane. I'm going to deselect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the front viewport, I can deselect them all together, holding the Alt button, deselecting everything. So now we have this loop, the front loop. I want to chamfer this loop in order to look more rounded. So I'm going to chamfer it, not that much. Now we have a problem here in this place. Let's see what the problem is. Problem is we have a connection from here to here. I'm going to disconnect it. So I'm going to choose cut, cut here, and choose this edge and delete it with backspace. Alright, now this will be theoretically rounded just like we want it to be, but there will be the same problem here, so I'm going to repeat the process. Cut and cut. Yes, that's fine. Now I'm going to delete this and delete this. Again, I'm going to the top viewport and I'm going to choose all the edges here. And in the front viewport, I'm going to deselect with the Alt all the edges here. So I'm left with this loop. Now if I chamfer this, not so much, it's supposed to be much better. Alright, let's try ringing this, connecting a line. Well, there is a problem with the chamfering of the front. Wait. Let's try welding all the polygons, all the vertices together. Yes, okay, there was a problem because the vertices were not welded together well. So now when I weld them together, it should work. I'm going to choose again this one, unchoose this one, and unchoose these. Now if I chamfer, much better. Alright, this is too much, but something like this, and 10 even. This is fine. Rounded, but not too much. And to fix the jumpiness here, I can add a smooth modifier to this form. And auto smooth. Now it's auto smooth. You need to remember this is very small detail, and it will be very small in the final rendering. So you don't need to go crazy on this. What I did is even too much, I think. Now I'm going to unisolate everything. I'm going to disable the see-through on the window, and I'm going to take this and the 2 bolts forwards. Front, I'm going to move this here. Fine. Alright, we have our basic window form. I'm going to copy this window here, group it in one, and copy it to this side. Now, this window is mirrored, so this handle needs to be at the other side. To mirror it, I'm going to use the mirror modifier. Just click it and it mirrors to the other side. You can mirror to the y-axis, so it mirrors back and forward, or z-axis up and down. We need the x-axis, so it mirrors from here to here. This is fine. I'm going to move the window forward so it sits on the second rail. And I'm going to hide this reference photo for a second, because I think the glass is too thick. Yeah, it's very, very thick. I'm going to open the group, choose this one, and the height I'm going to do 0.1 and move the glass inside our window. Close again. And same thing here, because it's the same window. Choose this, 0.1. It's 1 millimeter. The glass needs to be something like 1 millimeter. Maybe a little bit more, but not too much. I'm going to move it here. And we have our window. Front. Yep. I'm going to close all the groups. And let's give it a material. We need 2 materials here. If we look at the reference photo, I'm going to move it because I just need the materials right now. We have the glass material, the aluminium material here, the brushed aluminium, and we have the white aluminium, white painted aluminium here on the handle. So let's create the glass material first. I'm going to render setup, change the renderer to V-Ray, and I'm going to create a glass material. Change the standard material to V-Ray material. Change the color to bluish, although it doesn't really matter because this color will not be shown anywhere because the reflection and refraction are going to be 100%. So if it's 100% refractive, if it's 100% transparent, you will not see the diffuse color. But I'm going to choose the bluish, and I'm going to up the reflection to 100%. Let's make it the background so we can see the form, and I'm going to up the refraction value to 100% also. So it's 100% transparent and 100% reflective. Now the reflection of the glass is Fresnel reflection. What Fresnel reflection does is reflects 100% when it's 90 degrees and much less when it's 0 degrees, so it's in the front. This is how the reflection of the glass works. If you look at the glass from a front view angle, you will see it totally refractive, totally transparent. If you look at 90 degrees, you can see almost only the reflections. This is the natural state of the glass. So I'm going to use the Fresnel reflection value, and the fog color is the color that exits from the window. This is supposed to be a little bit bluish, because the fog color of the window, when you look at a window, is almost always a little bit blue. But this is too much. I'm going to make it way less, something like this, and I'm going to assign it to the glass boxes. Right, so this is the glass material. The second material I'm going to create is brushed aluminium. I'm going to change it to V-Ray material, and now I need to choose something like this. Alright, now this is the basic color of the aluminium. Now I need to make it reflective. Not too much though, but reflective, something like 30. Now the reflection is 100% non-blurred. It's like glass. I need to make it very, very blurred out, like here, like brushed aluminium. Because it's brushed, the reflection is very, very blurred out. You can't see any forms in it. So I'm going to choose the gloss and reflection and down it to 0.6. Now it's very, very brushed. For brushed aluminium, the best BRDF reflection algorithm is Pong, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's a little bit more asymmetrical. It's not circular like the Blin, which is circular, but okay. We're going to use the Pong. We're going to down this value to 0.5 even, and I'm going to increase the reflection a little bit to maybe 45. That's fine. Alright, that's fine for the reflection. Maybe I'm going to up the subdivision value to 16 so it doesn't get many points in the rendering. And I'm going to assign this material to the window. Now these are basic materials I'm creating. Once I place them in a scene, I will render only the window to see if the materials are good, and I will tweak them accordingly. So this is the basic material, what I'm creating right now. This is fine. I assign the materials to the frame, to window 1, and to the frame of window 2. Now the next material is this white aluminium material. So I'm going to create it. I'm going to call it white aluminium. I'm going to change it to V-Ray material, and I'm going to give it a white color, but not too white, something like 215 is fine. Now I'm going to give it a little bit reflection, something like 20. And again I'm going to down the reflection glossiness so it will be very, very blurred out to 0.45 even. Very blurred. You almost can't see the reflection because of the blurriness here. Now I'm going to up the subdivision value to 32 because you can see the points. Now it's much better. And I'm going to assign it to this one and this one. There's a red spot here, so I'm going to create the same material, just red. I'm going to choose the pick tool and I'm going to pick the color. This is fine. Now I'm going to assign it, open groups, and assign it to this box here. So I'm going to choose one and grow and assign. I'm going to rename it to red aluminium. This is the first one. You can see the colors here. So I'm going to choose this, and I'm going to choose again the first polygon, grow it to the polygons on the sides of the first polygon, and I'm going to give it red material. Fine, I'm going to close this group and close this group. Last thing I'm going to do is give a grayish material to these bolts. For this I'm going to change our basic material we used for everything. I'm going to change the name to dark gray bolts, and I'm going to change it to V-Ray material and make it darker like so, and again with the reflection value like this, paste, and the glossiness 0.45, again blurred out. Right, okay, so we have a materials for our window now. Let's save this scene. I'm going to take all the window. No, you know what? I'm going to combine all of this into one editable poly, so I can manage the size of the window once I insert it into the scene. I'm going to choose everything, ungroup, choose the frame, and wait a second, I'm going to delete the reference, we don't need it anymore. Choose this one, attach, and I'm going to attach everything to it. Just click OK. Now this is one window, one editable poly. I'm going to call it window sliding, and I'm going to save it in my directory. Save it here. Window. Fine. Now let's open the scene we worked on the first 3 tutorials. This is the scene. I'm going to delete this box because we don't need it to reference the reflection of the floor anymore. And I'm going to insert the window we just built into the scene. I do this by clicking here, import, and merge. Now I'm going to merge a form from another file, from the file I just saved, window, into this scene. Double click, and I'm going to want to merge this form, the window sliding, into this scene. I'm going to choose OK, and you can see the windows inside the scene. I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees, take it backwards into the wall, go to the top viewport, and I'm going to place it inside the window. Hide the plane for a second. Like so. Take these vertices here and take these vertices of the center of the window and place them in the center. The center of the light plane of the V-Ray light is fine because it's centered to the window. So this is the center of the window. In the front viewport, I'm going to take the whole window up like so. And take this a little bit up like so. Now, if I look at the window now, it sits exactly in spot, which is great for us. Just don't let the window touch the light plane, because if it sits like so, the light plane is inside, the light plane will be catched inside the window, and the light will bounce all around the window and not create any light inside the room, or not good light source inside the room. So make sure the light is in front of the window or all the way before the window at the exterior. The in front is better for me right now. I'm going to go to the camera view, and I'm going to try to render this window and see what we get. I'm going to choose the region, render only our region of the window because I don't need to see anything else for now. And let's try rendering this. As you can see the details of the handle, you can see the line we created inside the aluminium, and the glass can see outwards of the window because you can see the line of the wall here. This is great. Let's see it in front of the reference photo. Yeah, the colors are fine, maybe a little bit more reflection in the aluminium, and we're set. Let's make the aluminium a little bit more reflective. To insert the material, I need to go to an empty slot and click material, pick from object, and pick the material I want, which is this one. Now I can see all the materials inside the editable poly, which is the window. I need to change the brushed aluminium a little bit. I want to up the reflection to 70 and the reflection glossiness to 0.6. So this is supposed to be alright. Let's try to render now. Well, it's a little bit more reflective, but it's too bright now, so let's make it a little bit darker, like this, and try rendering. Alright, that's fine. You can make it a little bit darker even, and play with this as much as you want. So this is the first window we're gonna put, and I'm going to copy this window to this place in the scene because it's the same window. Just gonna shift drag here, place it in the center of the window like so, and now we have our windows for the scene. In the next tutorial we will build on the same form. We will build this exterior door which leads to the balcony. So we'll take the form of the window and make it like sliding doors. Alright, I'll see you next time.